Mamma Mia. Hi, my. How can I resist you? Hello, everyone. Welcome to this hangout with me, Jack and Harry, on Mamma Mia. So, as you can guess by the title and my singing, sorry, we are going to be reflecting films in the Mamma Mia franchise. Whoopee! um, Directed by Fhylidia, Lloyd, and Ol Parker. The first one being Mamma Mia, which came out 11 years ago, and last year called Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again. I'm with Harry and Jack, and so, um, Jack, you, ladies first, what do you think of Mia film? Hey, take it away, Jack.
Uh, yeah, Mamma Mia. What a load of shit. Just rubbish. Um, I've never been a huge fan of musicals, and the original Mamma Mia is the worst musical I've ever seen. It's just
Oh,
garbage. I mean, the story of Mamma Mia, if there is a story, is basically what?
it wasn't that bad.
Oh yes, it was. Well, I mean, I've never been the biggest fan of musicals, to be honest.
I agree.
They're only There've only two musicals I like, and that's The Wizard of Oz and Oliver. But I've just never been a huge fan of musicals. And this, I mean, as a film, it's just garbage. I mean, the only reason that this film, if I can call it that, was made was to just have a ABBA song jukebox. A jukebox of ABBA songs. I mean, the whole story itself is just shit. Like, the story about Amanda Seyfried's character, and the way she has three dads, which we never find out. And the story itself is just it's basically like, oh, Meryl Streep's character Donna, like she's got this hotel, and like it's her birthday or whatever it is, and like, and Amanda Seyfried wants to get her father's, because she doesn't know who her father is. And you've got Colin Firth in this movie, and Colin Firth, like, he's decent in the film. Although I never bought him as a punk. I mean, he's this middle class, like, posh guy, and he's supposed to be a punk. It's like that was a working class music movement. I never bought him as that. You've got Stellan Skarsgård in the film, and he just kind of farts his way through. But I mean, then you get to Pierce Brosnan. Oh God, Pierce Brosnan. And if you thought he was bad in the James Bond movies, wait till you hear him fucking sing. God, because his singing is absolutely dreadful. And his whole story is just bollocks. Like when he's with Donna, and she's like, "Oh, I can't love you anymore," and then he starts to sing, like, "Where are all those happy days? They seem so hard to find." It's just awful, Brosnan. Please don't sing. It's just so bad. And the movie itself, I mean, the other characters. I mean, you got Julie Walters in this film singing songs, and I mean, the ABBA songs are good. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I think ABBA are good. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of ABBA in the world, but I do enjoy their songs. But here, they're just there because hey, we want to make a musical, and let's get the story that's which is bollocks. That's like, oh, she doesn't know who your fathers are. I mean, I've said this in my review. Get a fucking DNA test. Just get a fucking DNA test and find out who your father is. Don't have these three guys just sitting there not knowing who your father is. I mean, it doesn't add any drama. I just couldn't give a fuck about the characters. And I mean, Yeah, I mean, the songs are good, like Dancing Queen and all that. I mean, it's all the ABBA hits you like, but the film just surrounding it is a pile of garbage. It's a pile of shit. I mean, one thing I will say though, the locations are good. I like Greece. I like the locations they use. And Meryl Streep, she can sing well, but it's just Brosnan, like you know. It's like, so when you need me, darling, can't you hear me? SOS.
When all is said and done.
Like, oh god. I can't conceal it.
Don't you see? Can't you feel it? Say I do.
Oh god. It's just awful. And the character motivations here are bollocks. Like Meryl Streep, she finds them all in the the barn attic or whatever, and then she's surprised, and then later on, like Brosnan, like she starts singing "The Winner Takes It All," and then, like you said in your review, Ollie, 5 minutes later, she accepts Brosnan's wedding proposal. It's like, what?
Yeah. Yeah, she goes through that whole song of "The winner takes it all," which says, I don't want to, I don't want to see you anymore. I've got to move on. And then she's like, "Oh yeah, I'll get married to you." Huh? That was a quick change of heart.
Yeah, and just Brosnan's proposal and like the way, and then you've also got this other stuff like Amanda Seyfried, like she wants to marry this guy, and they're going to get married, and then the ending is just like stupid. I agree with you. I mean, it's like they go to all this trouble to get this wedding, and then she decides, oh, you know what, fuck it, I've changed my mind. It's like, do you know how fucking expensive weddings are? You're just going to crash the wedding just like that because you feel like, oh, we'll postpone it, we'll do it some other time. It's like, for fuck's sake, just get married to the guy and then go traveling across the world, for God's sake.
I mean, Jack, if that was my daughter, I'd be angry. I'd be like, do you know how much money we paid for this wedding? If you want to get married, you're going to get married now. I mean, now. God's sake.
Yeah, it's just rubbish. It's just shit. It's just like, oh, let's do it. And the movie is just, it's just cheese, fucking cheeseball script. It's just a cheeseball script, and you've also got that other bit at the end. Billy Walters starts singing the Stellan Skarsgård.
Billy Walters. Oh,
Walters.
Funny. I know what you mean.
Julie Walters.
Yeah, but with Stellan Skarsgård.
I said Julie Walters.
No, you said Billy Walters.
No, I said Julie, but you must have misheard. But
It sounded like Billy.
Well, I said Julie, but anyway, yeah, like that's just so stupid. She's chasing him around, like, and then she's on the roof chasing him. It's like, oh my god, this is just embarrassing. And like the comic duo of Julie Walters and the other woman, I forget her name, it's just rubbish. Like they're these basically these women who get, like you said, they get drunk, they're looking to fuck men, and that's all really to it about their character. That's really it. And just the dance numbers are just so cheesy. Like at the end where you see Meryl Streep, they all get in these 70s disco outfits or whatever. They just look ridiculous. And the movie is it's just shit. It's just, it sits on your screen and you just wonder, fuck, did you pay to watch this crap? And it's rubbish. It is rubbish. And the ending of it, like, with the dance numbers, I wasn't impressed. I just thought to myself, well, this is a cheesy, campy fuck fest. The acting is, I mean, the acting for the most part isn't terribly great. I mean, it's okay, but all they're doing is musical numbers. Brosnan's singing is fucking awful. The story is shit. Like all three characters for the three fathers, I couldn't care. The drama it does nothing for me. And the film just, it's one big slap in the face. It's just, all it's there is to just to showcase the ABBA songs. That's it. Just to showcase the ABBA songs, and it's rubbish. And and it is crap. So I'm gonna close off by giving 4 out of 10. It's just just the worst musical I've seen, and you know the ABBA songs. I mean, the ABBA songs are good, but it can't save the movie from Brosnan, and you
Yeah.
know it's just rubbish. So yeah.
To be fair, Jack, there is probably another musical that you probably do like that you've forgotten about. Mary Poppins. That's a musical.
And what about Phantom of the Opera?
I'm not a huge fan of that, but yeah.
What a Phantom of the Opera.
I know. I said like I'm not really a musical fan. I'm only really a fan of a couple of musicals, and yeah, Mary Poppins, I suppose. But I'm just
Despite Big Bang Theory.
just people. I mean, for me, the musical genre, just people breaking out into song every 5 minutes is just fucking cheesy. I mean, like every time when I've been and they have to do a musical, I'm just like, nah, no thanks. I'd rather do serious stuff. But
if you want a serious musical, Les Miserables is probably the most serious musical you'll find. But yeah, is there anything you want to add before we move on to Harry?
No, not really. Just somebody save my soul. Save our souls from Brosnan singing. That's all I'll say.
Okay, fair enough. We'll bear that in mind. Your point's been taken into consideration. So, Harry, what do you think of the original Mamma Mia film?
Mamma Mia, we don't need this movie. It's for mediocre. Well, I'm slightly kinder to the original Mamma Mia than Jack, but not by much. Don't get me wrong. This is still not a good movie, but I describe it as a guilty pleasure.
Yeah.
I mean, at least unlike Here We Go Again, the first Mamma Mia has slightly marginally better writing and a little more fun to it. I mean, I'm like Jack. I'm not a huge musical fan, but I do adore some great ones. And this isn't. I'm not a fan of the. I'm not a fan of the idea to make a movie. A fictional story based on ABBA songs. I'm like, if you're going to make a movie about ABBA, why not just have it be, a dramatization of ABBA? I would have much rather that personally.
Yeah, like Bohemian Rhapsody was a dramatization of Queen.
Yeah, exactly. Then why couldn't we have gotten that instead? And Bohemian Rhapsody turned out to be a better movie than this. And
hey, Harry, instead you get Brosnan.
Oh
you get Brosnan sing.
Exactly. Yeah, we got in. Yeah, this movie exactly. We got the worst singers imaginable, and
they weren't cast for singing though. Let's be real here. Stellan Skarsgård, Colin Firth, and Pierce Brosnan. They were not cast for singing. Let's just clear that up right now.
Hell no. They were cast just. They were cast just for popularity and
appeal.
Exactly, yeah. But first, and I do have at least some positives. At least this movie is gorgeous to look at from a locations and cinematography standpoint on the island in Croatia. Yeah. And yeah, that's the best thing about it.
Croatia? I thought the island was in Greece.
Oh, in Greece, yeah. Sorry, yeah, and at least Meryl Streep and Amanda Seyfried, they are the two best performances of the movie. They're decent, yeah, and I am fond of their mother and daughter bond. And Amanda Seyfried, she is drop dead gorgeous. I have such a crush on her in this.
I agree. And by the way, her name's Amanda Seyfried.
Amanda Seyfried, sorry, yeah. If me and Ollie were characters in this movie, there would be a rivalry between us for her affections.
May the best man win.
May the best man win, exactly.
I just step in.
Yeah, but that's it. So now let's get to all the shit that Mamma Mia has to offer. Firstly, there's no fucking plot here. All it is a narrative based on ABBA songs that come out of fucking nowhere.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. And the ABBA songs, they just come out of fucking nowhere, and they and even the covers of them in this movie, they sung by the cast, they are so inferior to the original ABBA songs. I'm like, movie, you could not get at least decent singers to sing these classic songs. How fucking dare you? They just fucking butcher them in this movie, especially Pierce Brosnan. His singing made my ears bleed. Where are those happy days? They seem so hard to find. Oh, shut the fuck up, Mr. Brosnan. I'm sorry. He's the worst James Bond ever, and he's the worst part of this entire movie. And I'm like
both points.
Yeah, exactly. And also the plot that is the ending will leave you unsatisfied, because we build up throughout the movie who is Sophie's biological father and Sophie's wedding, and it turns out that the movie never answers that question, and it just cancels the wedding abruptly. I'm like, what the fuck? So we built up all that suspense for nothing, literally.
Yeah.
And and Sophie just stood calling off the wedding. She is so ungrateful to her mother by doing that. I'm sorry. This Sophie, this is the woman who gave birth to you, breastfed you, and did everything for you, and that's how you repay her.
I actually might know how Donna died in the second film. Maybe she died from the stress of having to pay off the cancelled wedding in this film.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe Sophie killed her own mother. The boy.
Oh God, I doubt that.
Maybe Brosnan. Maybe Brosnan sang her to death. Like, she just died of his singing. Like, where are those at?
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, and well, at least as far as the singers go, Meryl Streep, her singing's passable. Like, the winner takes it all, but that's it. All the other singing is atrocious.
Well, Amanda Seyfried sings quite well.
Oh yeah, at least her singing voice is sweet, I guess. But yeah, other than that, I am not a fan of the soundtrack for this movie. So yeah, Mamma Mia, not the worst musical ever made. That would be the sequel, but this is still but this is still it's still such a mediocre attempt to it's such a mediocre cash grab that butchers the awesome work of ABBA. So yeah, I am going to rate Mamma Mia a 5 out of 10 and 2 stars out of 5.
So you thought it was all right?
Yeah, it's all right, I guess.
Well, Mamma Mia, I'm probably going to be the most positive, but that doesn't mean I'm...
Whoa!
I mean, I said most positive. I didn't mean like I would love it. I agree with Harry. It's not terrible. It's all right. I agree. It's a guilty pleasure movie. I enjoyed this film. I never used to enjoy it, but... Huh? Sorry, Jack?
I said even Brosnan singing doesn't lower.
Well, no, obviously not that. But I mean, when I first saw this movie years ago, before I was into musicals, I wasn't really a fan. But it has kind of grown on me. Not to the extent where I think it's good, but I can enjoy it for the songs. You know, it's a laugh. You know, it just, as a film, it does fail. The story is a bit...
I'll say you laugh at. with it.
Yeah, yeah. The story's a little bit messy. I mean, the fact that there's no real resolution of the story, or the resolution of the story is not satisfying. It's just, after all of that build-up, Sophie decides to call off the wedding, when everybody's there at the altar. And then Meryl Streep gets married to Brosnan after she literally just rejected him with the winner takes it all. Yeah. And then 5 minutes later, she wants to marry him again. It's like, oh, okay, what happened there? Oh dear. But I mean, this movie is I don't think it's quite as good as the second one because it's more over the top, I think, as well, and the story is just not very engaging. The film is most of the film is sort of padded out. It's it's basically just karaoke. It's ABBA karaoke. It's fun. I think there's some fun to be had. I mean, but it comes across as more of a chick flick than anything else. I think the film has bizarre casting. I mean, first of all, the three guys, Colin Firth, who's just there, Stellan Skarsgård, who's just there, and Pierce Brosnan, who is, oh dear. I mean, I didn't rate him as Bond. I don't think he's the worst Bond, but I don't think he's great. Prepare for the wall that Donald Trump has built to come crashing down when you hear the sound of Pierce Brosnan singing. Oh, oh God, his singing is terrible. I mean, the guy he's not a bad actor, but why the hell they cast him in this, I don't know. I mean, I know that most of the cast were cast for the star appeal, but when you hear Pierce Brosnan singing SOS, where are those happy days? They seem so hard to find. So when you're near me, darling, can't you hear me? SOS. It's like, oh, ow, my ears. It's really not a pleasant sound. I mean, and the other times he sings, I'm not convinced either. Pierce Brosnan is a man of many skills, but singing is not one of them. And I think that was proved when the reviews came out for this film. Nobody liked Pierce Brosnan in the film. I mean, I can't think of any celebrity who sings worse than him. I think he could be the worst singing celebrity. I think also because of his accent, because he's Irish, and his accent makes him sound whiny when he's singing, and it just doesn't work. It really doesn't work. At the end when he's proposing to Donna, and he goes, "I can't conceal it. Don't you see? Can you feel it?" It's like he's a little kid whining. It's just no. I'm sorry, but yeah, Brosnan was a miscast. However, I do quite like Amanda Seyfried, and I agree with Harry. The bond between mother and daughter is well done in this film. A shame it wasn't done any better in the second film, as Donna died. But never mind. Although at times Sophie can be a bit of a brat. There's moments when, she's like when she has an argument with Sky, who's played by Dominic Cooper, the boyfriend. And she just kind of throws a tantrum. She goes to her mum, and then she just kind of has an argument with her mum as well. It's like, oh, God, I mean, we don't need all this. We don't need all this. There's not much of a story, but I think the songs are entertaining. Like as Jack said, Dancing Queen, not SOS, Dancing Queen, The Winner Takes It All, which is great. Take a Chance on Me. I mean, that was weird. I mean, Julie Walters is singing Take a Chance on Me to Stellan Skarsgård. Riddle me that. What? That's just weird. That was like a song that was added on for no reason at the end. It just, wow, it's just not natural at all. I mean, Julie Walters can sing quite well, but Stellan Skarsgård, he can't sing. I mean, he only sings 2 lines, admittedly. But he sings, we can go dancing, we can go walking. But yeah, and Colin Firth's not a bad singer, but he doesn't really dance particularly well. I mean, so the 3 guys are kind of all just in there, they don't do much. Um, there are. I do agree. Some of the songs in this film are just thrown in there for the sake of it. There's no real connection to the narrative, which is something that the second film does improve on for me. Some of the songs do work, like "Slipping Through My Fingers." That's probably one of the nicest songs in this film because it actually relates to the story quite well. Like the mother letting go of the daughter, before she's getting married. Well, or supposedly, anyway. But the rest, some of the other songs are just thrown in there just for the sake of it, and it's not very well stitched together. I think it's poorly directed. I think it's kind of all over the place. I mean, it really is all over the place. It does have a charm to it. It does have fun, but really, you don't watch Mamma Mia for the story. You do not watch it for the story. You watch it to have a laugh. You watch it for the ABBA songs. I mean, the locations are great. I love the locations and the sets. I mean, the island of Greece is fabulous, and it looks great. And all of the sets, like the hotel, are really good. Meryl Streep is fantastic in the film. She's probably the best performance in the film, just by default. Or Amanda Seyfried is also very good. Dominic Cooper's all right, but he doesn't get much to do. He's only in there like for a couple of scenes. He has that kind of saucy number on the beach. Lay all your love on me. I mean, that was kind of steamy. Fun fact, actually, Amanda Seyfried and Dominic Cooper got together during Mamma Mia in real life as well as the film. So yeah, but they're not together anymore. So yeah, overall, I can't really say much else about this film. It's 2 hours long. Sometimes the pacing can get a bit slow because the story doesn't really progress all that much. It's just moving. They're just going. Sometimes they're going from one song to the next. But I don't hate it. I do enjoy it. I have a soft spot for it. But if I had to choose, I would choose to watch the second one over this, definitely. So I would probably score the original Mamma Mia film. I'll give it a 5 out of 10. It's okay, It's but don't watch it for the story. That's all I'll say. So we return to Jackie Boy with Mamma Mia. Here we go again. So the sequel that came out 10 years after the first one. Jack, please do give us your thoughts on the second film.
Oh, well, Mamma Mia, here we go again. And as I said in my sketch, here we go again. Oh, God. Mamma Mia, here we go again. I mean, it's not as bad as the first one.
But it ain't much better.
Yeah, but it ain't much better, exactly. The story of this one, like the parallel narratives, it's just shit. I'm sorry, but you're just ripping off The Godfather Part 2. And it just doesn't work, in my opinion. Like the flashbacks and flash forward stuff just does not work at all. The way it's edited is very confusing, and it just doesn't work, in my opinion. I think the reason why, because unlike The Godfather 2, The Godfather 2 had an interesting story with Michael in the present and an interesting backstory of how Vito became the Godfather in the first movie. You saw his prequel. So, I mean, Godfather 2 gets it right on how to do a prequel/sequel. The prequel stuff is interesting, but the stuff in the present day, nothing happens. I mean, literally, the story in the present day, literally, fuck all happens. Like, there's a little storm at the hotel, and she's her boyfriend. That's it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and not to mention,
I agree with you.
she's also pregnant as well, and her grandmother turns up for a song at the end.
Yeah, and that's it, really. There's not much going on in the present. I mean, I agree with you, Ollie, in your review. Like, they should have just made it 2 films. Like, have the prequel stuff. But then again, if we had a third Mamma Mia, I'd probably shoot myself. But
yeah. Well, they may do a third one. You never know.
Yeah, well, they're running out of ABBA songs, so hopefully not. I mean, but yeah, I mean, all the parallel narrative stuff just doesn't work. I mean, like, all the stuff in the past, I will say, I mean, that's probably my favorite part of the movie. And, I mean, just for the present day stuff, like the plot, I just think it's shit once again. Like, it's just so stupid. Like, Donna now is dead. We don't know why. I don't understand why they killed off Donna. I mean, Meryl Streep is still alive and well, but suddenly, oh, Donna's dead, and they never explain why. Just she's dead. It's like, oh, so what? She died? Did she die of cancer? Was she murdered? Did she have a heart attack? It's like, how did she die?
No, she listened to the soundtrack of the first film.
What?
She listened to the soundtrack of the first film.
Yeah, no, she died of Brosnan singing SOS.
Can you hear me? SOS.
Yeah, either that or died. Either that or she died from the stress of trying to pay off for the wedding in the first film. Because I mean, that's the thing which is interesting is Amanda Seyfried. She's married in this film. She's married, so it's like, why didn't you just get married at the end of the first one? You had 2 weddings. Great.
Yeah, well, I'm not actually sure if they are married.
Yeah, I mean,
it's never really made clear whether Sophie and Sky actually got married. I think they might be, but I'm not sure. They never actually say.
I think they did say they were married in this one, but anyway, I would have to rewatch it. But
yeah,
well, not because I sold the Blu-ray. But yeah, I mean, just the story, like with the prequel stuff. I mean, the stuff in '79. Like, I mean, one thing I will say, Lily James is probably the best performance of the film. I mean, she is fucking hot. I mean, Amanda Seyfried was pretty hot in the first film, but Lily James is even fucking hotter in this film. I mean, they're both pretty hot, to be honest, but Lily James just, wow, she was the best part of this film to look at.
Yeah.
The best part of the visuals.
Yeah, she did a good American accent.
Yeah, she plays the young Donna. All that stuff in '79, I think, it's fine. That's probably the most interesting. Although I do say there were some cheesy fucking scenes, like when she's in the university and then she just, takes off her university clothes and she's like, when I kiss the teacher. It's just like, oh, God. Easy. Like, you couldn't get easy. But, I mean, at least she sings it well. That's one thing I will say this film has over the first film. At least they can sing in Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again. But
and actually, the songs do make a bit more sense in terms of the story, why they picked them. But yeah, I do agree with you.
Yeah. So like the movie sort of goes on from there. I mean, thank God Brosnan only gets to sing one song in this film, and it's not even a full song. It's just like part of SOS, and he sings it a lot more calmer. So that's one thing. I mean, at least your ears aren't. At least you don't have your ears raped by Brosnan singing in this film.
It's nice to know that in 10 years he did actually improve slightly.
I think the director, basically, Oliver Parker, said, yeah, Brosnan, just, keep it quiet. Don't shout out, when you're gone,
Yeah. I mean, the moment where he does sing is meant to be sentimental anyway. So, yeah, I think you're right. It probably was the direction. But, only took Brosnan 10 years to get vocal training. If he did, which he didn't.
I mean, there are some sentimental bits in it that are better than the first film. I do kind of enjoy, but at the same time, the characters are just, like, I mean, one thing that did piss me off, like, it's a minor thing in the movie, but like when Brosnan gets out the album of a young Donna, it's like when he gets out the photographs in the photograph book, it's like, wow, I didn't know they had HD cameras back in 1979. I mean, the photos look like they were shot yesterday. I mean, look at the photos in the album. They're like HD, crystal clear pictures. It's like, you could have, it's like, come on, really? Like, you could have, touched them up, made them look older, had them in black and white, made the quality a little older. But it's like, no, it's like they were shot.
He just touched her up instead.
Yeah. No, but it's like, that kind of annoyed me. It's like, oh, yeah, those photos look like they were taken yesterday. HD, crystal clear, color. It's just, come on, like, that was a stupid continuity goof. I mean, and the stuff, and I kind of agree with you as well, Ollie. Like, I think, they could have tried to make it more distinctive between the stuff in the past and the stuff in the future.
Yeah.
Maybe if they, had all this in the past in black and white or something like that, or made the color different, made the color look different.
Yeah. I think black and white would be a bit too serious for Mamma Mia, but yeah, I think definitely some color distinction would be nice.
Yeah, exactly. And just like, I mean, one thing I will say though is like I do think the actors who play like the young Colin Firth and all that is quite good. Like when he first meets Donna, Although I kind of think it's stupid that, you know, he said, "Oh, I've never had sex before," and she just fucks him because she feels bad for him, and then he starts singing Waterloo, and I just never bought like I said in the first one, I never bought Colin Firth as a punk, and like here it's it's like in a punk. I'm sorry, but if he's a punk, he would not be singing Waterloo. He'd be singing Anarchy in the UK, God Save the Queen, you know, the Stranglers or something like that, like the Ramones. He'd be singing a punk song, not fucking ABBA.
He's probably an aspiring punk, you know, but yeah, he is a bit too posh to be a punk. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and I never bought him as that. Yeah, and then you got some of the other stuff, like you know have the scenes where she's on the boat with young Stellan Skarsgård, and we see that he basically just wants to fuck her. And then you know we have that scene with the Italian man, and he's like, "Oh, Apollonia, Apollonia," and he's like trying to go after his wife, and it's like, okay, you're not even trying to hide the fact that you're ripping off the Godfather now, because we all know in the first Godfather, Michael got married to Apollonia in Italy, and it's like, oh, it's like, yeah, Apollonia, it's like the same thing here. Like, oh god. And she was Greek in the first film as well. Apollonia was like Greek Italian. So it's like, oh yeah, yeah, we know. And that's such a cheesy scene where he jumps in the water and then she jumps in the water as well. It's like, stop piling on the cheese. I get it, it's Mamma Mia, but just cut some of the cheese out here, please. You know, we have the stinky cheese in the first movie. Just, you know, let's have plain Stilton in this film, you know? But yeah, some of the other scenes just kind of. I mean, I will say the film does go on a bit. I mean, it's 2 hours and 8 minutes or something like that, and to me, it does feel like it dragged a bit. Like you could have made like an hour and 51 minutes or something like that, or an hour and a half, because it is, you know, just again, it's just, you know, a story made out of ABBA songs and cut out the stuff in the future.
Or two stories in this case.
Yeah, yeah, that was stupid. I mean, you've also got Andy Garcia in this film. It's like, okay, he's in the golf.
Andy Garcia as Fernando.
Yeah, Fernando. Yeah, it's like, okay, so yeah, you get it. You like the Godfather, Oliver Parker. Like, yeah, have another Godfather, you know, actor in here. And you know, I mean, it's written by Richard Curtis, and you know, Richard Curtis is a good writer. I mean, he wrote Blackadder. I mean, but I'm not really a huge fan of his films. Like, he's done Four Weddings and a Funeral and Love Actually. I know there's a lot of people who like that, but I find those cheesy romantic comedies just not very good. Not his best work, in my opinion. But yeah, he writes the script, and you know, you got the. I mean, it's interesting to see that, you know, Julie Walters' character, and we see the young versions of them, and they're, you know, they're going after Brosnan's character, and we see Brosnan's character and all that. And she's
Well,
like, oh yeah, let's stay
the younger Brosnan, but yeah,
yeah, the younger. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't really convinced by the younger Brosnan, to be honest. Like, he didn't really put on an Irish accent. He just talked in his ordinary English accent. I think he was probably the weakest cast of the younger guys.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's interesting to see him stay with Donna, and then, you know, Donna, of course, finds out that he's engaged to somebody else, and then she goes off. And it was quite cool, like, where she arrived in the hotel and she found a horse and she decorated it up and all that. But yeah, I mean, that parallel storyline, the way it kind of ends, like with the pregnancy, and you sort of cut to the stuff in the future where Amanda Seyfried is, you know, pregnant and all that. But then you get to the final act of the film, like after the prequel stuff is done, and you have fucking Cher arrive in this movie. Cher is in the movie, and she's just there because she's fucking Cher. I mean, like, it's like, also, so all of a sudden she is this rich grandma who arrives out of nowhere. She's like, oh, I want to be a grandmother now. It's like, you're a bit fucking late for that. Like, you know, she
yeah,
arrives
exactly.
out of, she just comes out of nowhere, and it's just like, that part of the movie just pissed me off. I mean, she's just there because she's Cher. It's like, yeah, we get it. You know, Cher, she's a singer and all this. She's a famous singer, you know, Sonny and Cher. Like, you know, I got you, babe. Like, I'd rather her sing that than some of the ABBA songs. And it's, you know, I mean, Cher is just really weak. I mean, she's just being herself. And, you know, the scene with her and Fernando was just cheesy as fuck.
Fernando?
Yeah, and like I said, Cher, she's just there because she's Cher. She's a singer, like, she's a popular singer, and that's the only reason she was there. And that was That was bad. And also Julie Walters in this film, it's like she gets back with Stellan Skarsgård. Like she says to the film, "Oh, I'm not going to be with him. He's a playboy and all that." And it's like he kisses her, and then 5 minutes later, she's back together with him again. It's like, really? Oh my god! it's like it's like the repeat of the first film with Donna and Brosnan when it's like the winner takes it all. It's like 5 minutes later. Oh yeah, I'm back together with you. you know. Oh god. I mean, I will say the ending was quite touching. I mean, Meryl Streep, kind of pointless to have her in the movie, but I did like the scene where, the ghost of her is in the church when they're christening the baby and stuff, and she sings a song. That was good. And I did like the ending where they all kind of, I mean, even though it was cheesy as hell, like they all started dancing and stuff in a tribute to Donna. That was nice. So, I mean, overall, Mamma Mia, here we go again. It's better than the first film simply because the singing isn't shit this time, but there are still problems like Cher being in the movie. I don't think the prequel stuff really works. Like they're trying to go down the Godfather 2 narrative, and it just kind of fails, to be honest. You could have just cut it. To be honest, you should have just made it a prequel movie and forgotten about the story in the present, because the story in the present just goes nowhere until the final act when Cher arrives. So it just goes nowhere. And yeah, they're running out of Mamma Mia songs. And I still Lily James is good, and they're some of the ABBA songs, they kind of repeat the same ABBA songs here again, like, which didn't annoy me too much. But it's like I hope if they do a third one, which I pray to God they don't, like don't do a third film. But if they do, like, I mean, they've run out of ABBA songs really, I think, because they're just repeating a lot from the first film. It's like just use some other ABBA songs. But I mean, overall, I mean, it's decent. Well, actually, it's not decent. it's not decent. It's. I mean, I can understand if you're a musical fan and you like it and all that, but for me, I was just cheesiness, the plot inconsistencies, and yes, of course, I forgot to mention the three dads. Again, they still don't know who they fucking are. It's the second movie, for God's sake. Oh, where'd Harry go? Oh, he's gone. Yeah. I mean, it's the second movie, for God's sake, and they still don't know who the dad is. I said this in my review. Get a fucking DNA test. Find out who your father is. This is the second movie, and we still don't know. It's still a mystery. Like she says in the beginning, "Oh, they're all equally my dad." It's like, so you just gonna go to the grave not knowing who your real father is? Ugh. Just give us an explanation as who your real father was. But oh my god. So yeah, I'm gonna close off by giving it the same rating I gave the first film, which is a 4 out of 10. So slightly better than the first one, a not swing better than the first one, a wafer thin improvement, as Alan said, but just I mean, just not great. So yeah.
Well, okay. Sure that we can't change your mind?
No, sorry.
Fair enough. So, Harry, what do you think of Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again? The long-awaited sequel. Lol.
Lol. Face palm. Mamma Mia, here we fucking go again. In some
appropriately titled.
Exactly, appropriately titled, because it's literally here we go again. I'm like, in summer 2018, we had 2 sequels that were released just years after the original, and unlike Incredibles 2, which was a sequel everybody asked for and turned out an incredible masterpiece, Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again sucks. This is even worse than the first movie. I'm like, how the fuck did this garbage receive positive reviews? It has an 80% on Rotten Tomatoes. Why?
I don't get that. I mean, I think it's slightly better than the first film, but it should still get like 50% like the first one. I don't get why it got 80%. But
I think it's the audiences. A lot of audiences much preferred it to the first one.
I guess so, but still, that confirms it as the most overrated as fuck movie of 2018. I'm like, no, unlike Incredibles 2, nobody asked for a Mamma Mia sequel, and this movie it ruins at least what was decent about the first one when it kills off Donna. I am not fucking kidding. Of all the characters they could have killed off, they killed off the most important one to this.
Oh, don't worry, we know. We've seen it.
Brosnan. Sing.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, it was. Yeah, it was either Pierce Brosnan's singing or Amanda Seyfried being a bitch to her mother, which is what's killed her. But seriously, I was just I'm like, fuck you, movie, and how dare you remove a Donna from the story? You just don't,
Yeah.
And that just fucking ruins the mother and daughter relationship that was established in the first movie. And
Yeah.
that
So
decision.
they decided to focus on younger Donna and then bring Meryl Streep back at the very end. So
I know, right? And that decision was so idiotic to me. This movie's narrative is messy all over the fucking place. It can't decide whether it's a prequel or a sequel. In fact,
I was going to say, shouldn't you say narratives? As there's two stories.
Oh yeah, two exactly. Yeah, seriously, this movie feels more like a prequel than a sequel. The best thing about this movie, the one positive I will give it, is Lily James is good as a young Donna, and she is and she is stunning for sure.
What a babe! Woo!
I know, right? Damn.
Damn!
I can see why those three. I can see why Sophie's three fathers were immediately fell for her back in the day. But
like, Harry, wouldn't you say just get a fucking DNA test? It's the second film, we still don't know who your real dad is.
Exactly, that unanswered question from the first movie still isn't resolved here. Jack is right. Sophie, just get a fucking DNA test and answer your question. But no, this it goes to show that these movies they just don't care. And the and this movie's soundtrack it's literally it's more painful than the first. I'm like and this movie even it lazily rehashes songs that we already heard in the first movie, like Mamma Mia and Dancing Queen. And
well, I mean, they kind of had to use the title song. They had to use Mamma Mia. But yeah, fair enough.
Well, yeah, I guess so. But I'm like, you could not have used just a little more original songs, movie, seriously. And and uh, uh, and Cher, she as the grandmother, she is in this movie just for a Juggernaut's celebrity cameo, and the fucking cover of Fernando. They played that on the radio to fucking death at the time. I just wanted to grab my radio and chuck it out of my fucking window to spare as a relief. And yeah, and also as for Sophie's boyfriend or husband, I have no idea who he is. I fucking hate him. He is an unlikable douchebag. When she calls him to ask him to come to the hotel, he's just like, "Oh, screw your mum. Just dedicate yourself to me and what I want to do." I'm like, break up with this bastard, Sophie. I cannot believe she forgave him so easily and had his baby. What the fuck? And so, and then, and what's even worse, because they write Donna out of the plots, she doesn't get to see her grandchild in the finale.
Well, at least Cher got to see her granddaughter.
Oh yeah, at least Cher gets to see her granddaughter, but still, Donna deserved to see her grandchild. And yeah, this movie, it's one of this is the worst musical I've ever seen. I was generous to the first movie, but I'm not going to give this one a pass. Yeah, this is it's one of the worst, most unneeded sequels I've ever seen, and thank God it didn't make it even half. It didn't gross half as much financially as the first movie did. So that should put them off from confirming a third movie. So yeah, and it almost it nearly made my top 10 worst of 2018. It was an honourable mention. So I'm going to I'm going to close off. Yes, sorry, Jack.
I was just going to say, like, if they did a third one, I mean, they called it Mamma Mia the first one, the second one, Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again. What are they going to call the third one? What
couldn't escape if we wanted to.
How can I resist you, I guess? But that's all they can title it.
Well, Harry, what about Mamma Mia? Couldn't escape if we wanted to.
Couldn't escape if we wanted to. Oh, exactly. But that's how
Waterloo.
That's how much. Yeah. Oh yeah. That's how much they love torturing us. Yeah. So I'm going to close off by rating Mamma Mia, Here We Fucking Go Again a 1 out of 10 and 1 star out of 5. Just fuck it. Just fuck.
Oh my God, Jesus. Blimey, I didn't expect a 1 out of 10.
Yep, it's that bad.
Well, I'm sorry to disappoint you, Harry, but I'm going to have to disagree.
What?
Yeah, I actually don't mind this movie. It's not great. It's not even really decent, but it's better than the first one. And I was pleasantly surprised. I didn't think it was going to be that good. But I mean, and it's heavily flawed. It is heavily flawed.
Saying it's better than the first one is faint praise.
Yeah, true, but you know, I actually do think there are good things in this movie. I mean, I agree. I mean, the whole decision to do the two narratives, the past and the present, it maybe not as worked quite well as they wanted it to. I mean, sometimes the editing can be a little confusing when you first watch it. You don't know which timeline you're in, and there's no visual distinction between the two timelines to help you indicate which one's which. You just have to remember which characters are where. Otherwise, you're going to get a bit lost. So, in that sense, it's a little hard to follow. But I think it's enjoyable. I think the songs are better in this film, and they actually make more sense. And the film has much more of a sentimental heart to it. It has much more of an emotional core towards the end, anyway, which is why I think it's better than the first. Huh?
At least people can sing better in this as well.
Yeah, and the performances are better. I mean, you know, you've got songs in here like When I Kissed the Teacher, Why Did It Have to Be Me, a small version of SOS, Dancing Queen, Mamma Mia, obviously, which are the repeats, Waterloo, One of Us, I've Been Waiting for You, Fernando, I mean, many more, but those are the main ones. And yeah, I had fun with it, and I enjoyed Lily James very much as young Donna. She does a very good American accent, and her singing is pretty outstanding, to be honest. She gives a good performance. Even though the story isn't really much, it's kind of just her meeting the three guys, you know, shagging them, and then ending up getting impregnated by one of them, which we still don't find out, which is a shame. I think it's the Pierce Brosnan character, to be honest, but I don't know. They never confirm it. They neither confirm nor deny. So it's still left open, which is a little silly. And then I agree with Jack. The stuff in the present day is not as interesting. It's still all right, but it's just there's not much going on. They're just trying to reopen the hotel. And why did they kill off Donna? Yeah, it was a little bit silly. Like, Donna's dead. Oh, okay, how? And yet they never explain it. So, yeah, there are a lot of inconsistencies with this film. Yeah, I mean, the movie does take a while to end. It kind of goes on, and we're getting closer to the end, and then it does. They kind of just add one more thing and one more thing. I mean, by the time we get to the Cher song, I'm just kind of like, okay, it's time to go home now. And then we get the my love, my life bit in the church, which is very moving. But I'm still thinking, come on, we need to end now. I think so. The ending is a little bit dragged out, but I think the locations are great as well. The setting of Greece is once again fantastic. I think the dance sequences and all the musical numbers are done much better and much more slicker than the first one. There's better direction in the second film by Parker or Oliver Parker. He seems to have a bit more of a flair for directing stuff like this. I could totally see this going on stage. Whereas the first one was just kind of slapped together, and it was like, well, let's hope for the best. But you know, this is definitely a lot better. Sorry, Harry.
I would have rather Fhylidia Lloyd returned to direct personally. I'm not a fan of the direction old Parker took the story.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I disagree. Fhylidia Lloyd, or however you say her name, I think she is a producer on this film, so she's still involved. But yeah, I felt her direction in the first film was a little bit all over the place. Not bad as such, just not very good. I mean, old Parker gives a better direction, a better vision for me anyway. And I do like the sentimental moments, like when Sophie sings the song "I've Been Waiting for You" at the end, which intercuts with the past, Donna giving birth, which was really, you know, nice in a way. Kind of the ends of the stories kind of stitched together with both of the girls being pregnant. That was kind of clever, but at the same time, you do just kind of wonder, what was the point? You may as well have just told this in two separate films. I mean, it's Mamma Mia. It's not The Godfather 2. I mean, it seemed like they were trying to be creative and be artsy with it. So, oh look, we've got two stories in this. We've got two separate narratives, but they're both connected. It's like, you don't need to be pretentious about it. You just tell us. It's Mamma Mia. Tell the simple story. It'll work fine. You know, I think tell the prequel story and then tell the sequel. You know, if you're gonna do it like that. I mean, but yeah, I do like the song choices here. It is better than the first one. There's no denying that. I think that the newer cast do a good job. The younger counterparts of Colin Firth, Stellan Skarsgård, and Pierce Brosnan all do a good job. And thankfully, Pierce Brosnan has much less singing. Thank God. When he sings that Karma rendition of SOS, you know, it's actually not too bad. So when you're near me, darling, can't you hear me? I mean, it's still not great, but to me, it's an improvement. It's he's had 10 years to work on his vocals, and he's you know, he's done a slightly better job.
I was just going to say, I think because he says it quite quietly makes it better. Because in the first one, he's shouting it. He's like, "When you can," you know.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it's because the moment is more sentimental. It would be wrong for him to just shout it out. So he does do it much more calmly, and you know, he does a good job. You know, I'll give him credit. You know, he does a better job than he did in the first one. Yeah, that's fine. Stellan Skarsgård and Colin Firth are just there. I will admit, it was quite funny when Stellan Skarsgård was in the fat suit, and we find out that he has a twin brother who was standing in for him. That was kind of funny when he was going up to get his award or something. I did find that kind of amusing. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, it is. This whole film is kind of more of the same. It is cheesy. It's fun. It's Mamma Mia. Except it's just trying to be like The Godfather 2 with the two narratives running alongside each other. Doesn't quite work better. Yeah, the editing is nowhere near as good as The Godfather 2, so it doesn't quite work as well. But yeah, I mean, I was pleasantly surprised. I mean, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, so I can't say that it's a bad film at all. And it is slightly better than the first one. So I give this movie a pass, and I've seen it a few times, and I've enjoyed it. You know, it's not perfect. God, it's heavily flawed, but it's certainly a lot better than the first one. I mean, and I would have liked Meryl Streep to do more in it if they hadn't killed her off. But still, the ending of the film is lovely, and it is moving, and you do kind of leave the film going, you know what, that was nice. You know, with a sort of half a smile on my face. I thought, okay, yeah, I was happy with that. It kind of makes up for the first one, really, because the first one was just kind of all singing, all dancing, just slapped together. The resolution of this film is a lot stronger than the resolution of the first movie, which is very good. So yeah, I mean, overall, I probably would have to score Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again, and yes, never has a film been more accurately titled, a 6 out of 10. I'd give it a pass, but that's as far as it goes. It's not a great work of cinema. It's not as it's a little bit. I think it thinks it's a bit more pretentious than it is really because of the whole two storylines thing. But it is a much better movie than the first one for me. And if they do a third, I'll watch it. But yeah, a third isn't really necessary. So anyway, that's kind of it, folks. There's only 2 films, and that's that. So, Jack, overall, what would you score the series out of 20? And obviously adding up your scores, and also, can you give like a brief summary of the 2 films overall?
Well, okay. I mean, as for my score, well, I give the first one a 4 out of 10, and the second one the same. So that would be 8 out of 20.
Oh, not bad.
Which isn't great. It's yeah. I mean, as for my opinion on the franchise, I guess we can like call it. God.
Yeah, or the Mamma Mia duology.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, the first one I think is just shit. It's the worst musical I've ever seen. I mean, Harry, I know, says the second one's the worst musical he's ever seen, but for me, the first one's the worst musical I've ever seen. I mean, I'm not a huge fan. I mean, like Ollie said in his comment on Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again, I'm not the target audience, and he is right. These are just kind of chick flicks. These are, films really for women. Like, I mean, I know my aunt, she's a huge ABBA fan, so she probably loved these films. And they're really just like films for like, for the fangirls, the people who love ABBA, and the fanboys, I guess you could say. But I mean, yeah, I mean, the first film, I mean, it's just shit. It's just a jukebox, musical. It's like, oh, let's get these ABBA songs and try to make a story out of the ABBA songs. No, just don't even try it. I mean, Brosnan, like I said, he's awful. The first film itself is just, you got SOS, when you're near me, darling, can you hear? Like, just, oh God, please, someone put a sock in it. Someone knock Brosnan out. And just the whole story, like the 3 fathers and all that. I couldn't give a shit about it. And the second film, while it is slightly better than the first one, it's still shit. It's just, you got the whole prequel narrative thing. It's trying to be The Godfather 2. It's like, no, it's like you're nothing compared to The Godfather 2. The Godfather 2 is one of the greatest films of all time. This is shit in comparison.
But it's better than the first one.
Yeah, that's not saying much. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I just thought like, Cher being in it, she was just there because she was Cher, and the whole, the whole present storyline I couldn't care about. I mean, Godfather 2, it had the storyline in the future, which you cared in the present day, which you cared about, and the story in the past, which you cared about as well. Here, one storyline I was involved in, the other, just, nothing really happened. I mean, the second one, it is better because the singing is better. That's the main reason why the singing is better. But I mean, apart from that, I mean, Lily James is good, and some of the songs are good. I mean, it is ABBA. I mean, ABBA are good. I mean, I'm not the biggest ABBA fan, but I do enjoy their songs. So, I mean, the second one, I think, slightly better than the first, just slightly. And that's
it's a wafer thin improvement.
Yeah, just a centimeter better than the first one. So yeah, I mean, overall, my opinion of the Mamma Mia duology is that we don't need any more films. Like we've already stretched the limit with the songs. Like they repeated a lot of songs in the second one, and I think nobody wants another Mamma Mia film. And thank God it didn't make as much as the first one, because if this was a huge box office smash, then we'd probably get a third one. I mean, we may still get a third one, but I just hope that God there isn't.
The first one was a financial success, but not a critical audience success. The second one was a slightly better critical success, but not by much. and it was quite an audience success. So I don't know. It just depends. It just depends. But if they're going to do it, they'll have to do it soon because some of the cast are getting too old for it. So with any luck,
I don't think they will. I think they stretch the story out as much as they can, and Harry said it didn't make as much as the first film, so that probably had put them off it not doing as well. So, I mean, hopefully that's the end of the Mamma Mia films. If there is a third one, I'll probably watch that and I'll probably rant on that as well. So, I mean, just musicals just aren't my thing.
Imagine if it was directed by Martin Scorsese.
That would be interesting. Raging Bull musical. Yeah. With Goodfellas.
Robert De Niro starts singing.
Yeah, that would be interesting. Like I told you, Faka, huh? That'd be interesting. Like him and Joe Pesci singing a song.
Can you imagine them singing SOS?
So when you need me, darling, can you hear me? SOS, I'm talking to you, huh? Like you talking to me?
Fucking ass. Can you fucking hear me?
Yeah, interesting. You owe my fucking money, you piece of shit.
Money. Must be funny in a rich man's world.
I need to see a gangster musical. I mean, they have done that, Bugsy, but Bugsy Malone. It's not as good, though.
See, another musical you like. See, Jack, you do like a bit more than 2 musicals. You just don't know it yet.
I like. All right, I'll admit I like a few of them, but they're not just not my cup of tea, really.
It's not your overall. You're not a fan of the genre, basically. Yeah.
I just find it really cheesy. I mean, well, I like Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, so
yeah.
Yeah, there are definitely ones I do enjoy, but like I never rush back to musicals really. I mean, the Mamma Mia franchise for me, they're the worst musicals. They're just like the thinnest plots. As films, they just don't work at all. So yeah, overall 8 out of 20, and I wouldn't recommend these films. But yeah, on to Harry.
Oh yeah. Ida rates the Mamma Mia duology 6 out of 20. Yep, I'm even harsher on these movies than Jack. In all honesty, I mean, the first. I mean, these movies. Jack is right. So we are not the target audience. They are made to be chick flicks and guilty pleasures, but they are musicals just done wrong. I'm like, at least the first Mamma Mia is just a movie that you don't need to take seriously. But the second movie, that was just garbage. If you just go watch a better musical, you deserve it. Watch Phantom of the Opera. That's the best musical ever made. That one has
What's the Wizard of Oz?
Oh yeah, Wizard of Oz, also a musical masterpiece, and that turns 80 years old this year.
Oh yeah. We love to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz.
Oh yeah.
I only had a brain.
Yeah.
All I was saying, don't watch Return to Oz. That's a fucked up sequel.
Yeah, I've heard it's shit, so I plan to never watch that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I have no intention of seeing it unless I want to rant about it. But yeah, I like giving the first Mamma Mia a meh score, and I absolutely loved ranting about its shitty sequel. So yeah, I don't give a shit about the Mamma Mia duology. I'm like, just watch musicals with plots, where you care, not just to promote iconic songs. So yeah. 6 out of 20 for the Mamma Mia duology for me.
Whoa! Oh dear! Well, I guess I'm obviously going to be giving the highest rating, but even though I kind of agree with some of your points, I do have a soft spot for these movies. I am into musicals. I do agree that these movies don't particularly have the best stories, but I think they're a fun time. I mean, even the first one to a degree, but If I had to choose, I would watch the second one over the first, but they're not a bad pair of movies. I think that, yes, we're probably not the target audience for these films, but, they're harmless. They are very cheesy, and sometimes there are very big flaws with these movies, but I mean, adding up my scores, I give the first one a 5, the second one a 6, so mine's 11 out of 20, which is still not great, but it's just over halfway. It's just over half the score for me. Yeah, I mean, I could watch these movies for fun, but I don't really think they are the best made films in the world, even though the second is an improvement. But yeah, I totally understand your guys' points about why you despise these movies. So yeah, and I'm sure if there's a third one, we will all have fun doing a reflection on it.
Have fun ranting
Will we
about
have
it.
fun?
Yeah, cool. Yeah, Mamma Mia, lay all your love on me. That's probably what they'll call it as well. You just think of any title with any ABBA song and put it there. Mamma Mia, the box office takes it all.
Actually, Ollie, just before we close off, I'll actually say I think Johnny English is a better incorporation of ABBA songs and a better musical than that with Does Your Mother Know? From Atkinson. That's better than the...
Yeah, funny. They do have the Does Your Mother Know song in the first Mamma Mia movie, but yeah, that was a funny scene in Johnny English.
I have to say, Alan Partridge, Knowing Me, Knowing You, the TV show, was a better incorporation of ABBA songs. But...
Oh yeah, that was another song that was in the second film. I forgot about that. Knowing Me, Knowing You. Maybe that's what they'll call the third one. Knowing Me, Knowing You.
That just made me laugh because it just reminded me of the comedy show Knowing Me, Knowing You with Alan Partridge, which comes back next month, new series. But aha!
Knowing me, knowing you. Aha! There is nothing we can do. Yeah, I mean, just before we close, I think we should also pay tribute to ABBA themselves, and just talk a bit about them, because obviously they were the whole springboard for these movies. Without their music, these movies wouldn't have happened. Obviously, I don't really know a huge amount about ABBA, but obviously I know they're not actually together anymore as a band, which is a shame. But I think they've done some great music. I mean, clearly, obviously, people love the music to have been made a musical out of it. And I always enjoyed listening to them on the radio. I mean, at first, the prospect of Mamma Mia never really appealed to me, but then as I got into musicals, I started to think about watching it, and then I did. But the music itself is timeless. I think they made some classics. I mean, would you agree?
I'm with you. Yeah, I adored ABBA as a kid. I had their songs, especially "Thank You for the Music," stuck in my head. I would have rather they titled an ABBA movie "Thank You for the Music" instead of Mamma Mia, to be honest.
Yeah, and funny that they did. Amanda Seyfried recorded a version of that song for the credits of the first film.
Oh yeah.
And it's a really beautiful rendition of it, actually. She does do a very good job with it, I think.
Yeah, she sang it beautifully. I agree.
And
I mean, that's for me, my opinion on ABBA. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of them. I do like their songs, though. Like, I do enjoy they are good songs, but they're just not in my favorite bands ever. They wouldn't be in my top 10 bands. I mean, I prefer other bands like the Stranglers and Public Image Limited and stuff like that, and AC/DC and stuff. But ABBA are still a great band, nonetheless. I mean, probably my favorite song is probably "Does Your Mother Know," just because it's in Johnny English and I think it's a good song. But I mean, they've done other great songs like Waterloo. I think is actually one of my favorites, maybe my favorite. But yeah. But I mean, I would rather see I'd rather just the Mamma Mia films be like a biopic, like Bohemian Rhapsody or something like that. Like that would be more. Although Sen ABBA's they're not around anymore. They actually are coming back for another tour, like the first tour in 30 odd years. But the interesting thing is their new tour. It won't be them on stage. It'll be it'll be them behind a curtain or something with like their CGI, like them CGI'd on stage, but them CGI'd on screen to make them look like they did years ago. Which I think I don't know about that. I think it's a bit of a cop out. They should just come out onto the stage and like show us what they look like 30 years later. They don't need to hide behind the CGI screen. That just kind of defeats the purpose of them coming back. But
I totally agree with that. If you're going to come back, then actually come back. Don't just tell people you're going to come back, then hide behind the curtain and have a younger version of yourself appear. What's the point? Essentially you're conning people, by doing that.
Yeah. I mean, it's like a lot of bands age, there's nothing wrong with that,
Yeah. I mean, look at the Rolling Stones. I mean, oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, they're fossils.
Yeah, good old Keith Richards. Oh, God. But yeah. So does anybody else want to say anything before we finish up?
So when you're near me, darling, can you hear me? SOS.
When these movies are gone, we can easily go on.
Good old Fernando. Anyway, thank you guys very much for watching and listening to us, and stay tuned for the next reflection. I'm Ollie, this is Harry, and this is Jack. See you around.